And welcome to Marlowe House Presents. I'm Andrew Marlowe.
I'm Monica Marlowe.
I'm just Scott.
Still.
Again?
Yay.
Consistency.
So tonight we'll be playing the Cypher system. We're going to be doing a low magic setting with burgeoning steampunk technology. So it's a little bit of black powder, a little bit of magic. We'll see how this goes. But not a lot of magic. Sort of Westeros early books, early seasons if you're watching it and not reading it. Very early Game of Thrones stuff. So really low magic. The characters, you guys are going to be in so the world, the way I see it for this is there's a war that is growing and spreading. There is an imperium called the Waymark Imperium, and they are spreading out and conquering large parts of the world. And you guys are currently in the island of Ghent, and the kingdom of Ghent is...
Go ahead. I'm not taking a picture of you. I'm taking a picture of me for my fans.
So the kingdom of Ghent is an island kingdom, and they are expecting to be invaded any day. They've just had some serious defeats on the mainland, crushing blows. And as the adventure begins, you begin in the village of Olvington, which is just a small little town.
Names these
for
places.
A land.
Go ahead.
Although I'll admit that one's not terribly original. But I'll explain later. Olvington's like this really small town. It's got maybe 4 streets in kind of a square formation. There's some farmers' fields around the outskirts of the town, and in the central portion of town, you've got there's a bar, and there's a few other just typical businesses, and there's a few other houses and things that kind of lay within a couple of smaller like side streets, but it's really only like 4 major roadways. There are a few like alleys and cross streets here and there, but they're mostly dirt tracks rather than paved roads. The only paved roads kind of make up the 4 the square at the center of town, and then they head out of town.
Okay. I hope you're taking notes.
You guys are currently...
I gave up and the names got weird.
How weird is it? It's Ghent. Ghent?
He stole that right out of Europe.
What?
Just kidding. Go ahead.
Ghent, Olvington, and Waymark? Really? Weird?
I don't even know where they're Ghent.
Yeah, Waymark Imperium.
Waymark?
Mm-hmm.
And Island Kingdom of Ghent.
That's so much better than Waymart, which is what I thought you said. So we're going shopping.
Welcome to Waymart.
My boomstick.
Get your rations and get out.
Sorry. This is what happens when they let Scott and I game together. We really need more friends.
So this is what happens when we only have 2 people at the table. It gets silly. I don't know how it is that we actually are... the game is straighter when there are more people at the table, but... So, anyway. So, as it is, you guys are spending the evening in the tavern, and people are very kind of, there's kind of a pall hanging over the place because, people are worried about their loved ones who are off fighting. And, they're worried about the possible coming invasion that everybody is certain is going to happen any day now. And it's just kind of a down place to be at the moment. There's no music playing. The fire's burning. It's crackling, but it doesn't really seem to bring any warmth to the room. The people are very kind of standoffish away from one another and only gathering in groups of 2 or 3. But their hushed tones are extra quiet this evening. So what brings you all to Olvington? Are you native or are you passing through?
So my impression as a player after having talked to Scott's character, whose name I don't know yet. Well, yes, I do.
You do.
I do. His name is.
His
He doesn't
came out
know
of
my
chat.
name. He doesn't know my name. That's the problem. Hold on.
It's gives me an excuse to go by Mal.
Yeah.
Yep. So, my impression of the conversation that we had prior to going live is that we travel.
Mm-hmm.
And that we do a little bit of artifact reclamation. We do a little bit of material
You're shady,
reclamation.
You're shady characters is what you're saying.
Or material reclamation from people who don't even know. Redistribution. Yes. And so my character's name actually is Aranea. She's, like I said, the weird explorer. And then I guess you're going to go by Mal. Okay.
I'll go by Mal.
Okay. And so we do a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Perhaps we have in the past worked with traveling shows, or I don't know.
As of late, there are no traveling shows, but that would not be impossible to believe that you would have done that at some time.
I wish I'd thought
at this point, you're probably between, I would say that, for the sake of argument, let's say you're between hustles. And at the moment, you're both trying to evade both being able-bodied individuals being conscripted and sent off to fight.
That sounds like a great idea. I'm sure nobody will recognize me here in town. What do you think?
I think you have a great genetic defect that will keep you out.
You think so?
Of the army.
Mm-hmm. They're pointed the wrong way.
And they certainly won't let you cook for them.
No, and they're pointed the wrong way. If they were pointed the other way, they would have me in a heartbeat. They got kind of floppy there. So, yeah. So we're...
Don't mess with the tiefling, young man. You get the horns. Ta-da.
No, I'm in
Incognito.
disguise. I'm in disguise.
Incognito. Fancy.
Incognito. I've already forgotten what your name was.
You can call me Aaron.
Aaron. Got it.
We'll go with Aaron.
I better write
It's
that
Aranea,
down.
though.
I better write that down.
So Mal and Aaron.
And Vanna.
And Vanna, is that your fox?
Oh, Vanna's the fox. What does the fox say?
I knew that was coming. I was trying to not encourage it. My bad.
You let him have a fox. What were you thinking?
I was thinking that, that's kind of cool.
It is cool.
All right, so Vanna's level 1.
Ooh, she gets levels and everything.
Yeah, she gets levels and everything, which means she only has 3 health. So
Oh, she's gonna die. She's not a horse, you murderous bastard.
Oh, wait, I have a horse.
You're in trouble.
it's also level 1.
It's also level 1.
However, I will probably give it 6 health because
It's a horse.
it's a horse.
Thank you.
And he has predispositions.
I think I'm going to name my horse Philippe.
Arthur, is that one of those horses? You know I have opinions about those.
You have opinions about everything. Okay. So while you're all kind of sitting in there, and much like it is tonight, it is raining.
Hail?
Yeah, small hailstones earlier. They seem to have passed. But it's raining. It's got there's a bit of an unseasonable chill to the air since we've decided it's hailing.
So it is exactly like tonight.
And finally, as it's getting later, the clouds are starting to part, but it doesn't seem to raise the moods of anybody inside. It's come to be pretty much full on dark. While you're sitting there, and the door bangs open, and in comes this 15-year-old boy, just on the cusp of being old enough to be sent off to war. He comes charging to the doors, and he says, "The moon's gone. Dad!" And he rushes up to the barkeep, and you kind of think about it for a moment, and you're like, because you've been here for a couple of days, you're like, Stephen. His name was Stephen, you think.
Okay.
But he's the son of the pub owner, and the pub owner's name is George. And George is like wiping down the counters, and his son comes in, and he's like, there's the moon's gone. And George looks up and says, "It's been a cloudy night, son. It's probably just gone behind the clouds." And he really just kind of ignores his son. A couple of people do kind of like stand up and look out the windows, and one of the guys is like, clouds have all parted. I don't see a cloud." And so a handful of townsfolk step outside. They go out and they look, and you can see small pinpoints of light glimmering down from the sky, a handful of stars dusting it, if you go out with them.
Yeah, I'll go out.
So you go out, and you can see that the sky's got a dusting of stars, and sure enough, there are a few low-hanging clouds, but you can really make out the cloud shapes, and the moon is gone. You look around. You've got a lot of book learning.
I've gotten some smarts.
Even if you didn't see it earlier today,
Mm-hmm.
you're pretty certain it should be, gibbous almost full.
Okay. So it should be in the night sky
It should be.
at this time in the evening.
Mhm. It should be pretty clear and visible, but it's not there.
Is there a dark spot where it should be?
Go ahead and give me a sort of an astronomy or perception.
I can perceive the things.
Well, I don't actually have perception because I didn't think about taking those types of skills because I was taking knowledge-based skills, but I got the F word, so I don't see anything.
You got an F word.
I got an F word.
Okay, so
For those of you who forgot, I have the F word on my die. And that's the one.
So On a 1, I get to do a free intrusion.
Yes. At this point, I would like to challenge all of the terrible die rollers to a roll-off at Gen Con next year. That would include my good friend Bruce Cordell and perhaps maybe even Will Wheaton.
I don't think
It was worth a shout
I
out.
invited Bruce, but I don't think they came.
I know. First roll of the night.
That's how you know
We're
it's going
off
to
to
be.
a fantastic start.
We are so in trouble.
So, I'm going to mark down that
that something's happened. Okay.
But I'm not telling you what that was.
Malcolm, on the other hand, is skilled in the perceptions.
Okay.
And has an 11 on the die.
All
I
right, so you
apparently
are
have my
skilled-
magnifying glasses on.
You are skilled in the perceptions, and you have an 11 on the die. So that is a successful roll. You're looking and kind of squinting at the sky. You think maybe there is something darkening it out.
Hey, Aaron, are we due for an eclipse?
I don't know. Let me see what my book says.
You should probably go inside because it's dark out here. You'll hurt your eyes.
Yes, it is dark out here. Give me one moment. I'll go back inside.
And you're probably staying inside, so your books are probably up in a
in a room.
room.
Okay. All right. So Aaron heads back in and takes a look at the books.
Okay. So you go up and you start looking through your books. And as you guys are, do you go back in with her, or you stay out and watch the sky?
Hang out for a minute.
All right, you hang out for a minute. Everybody else starts to like drift inside. And as you're watching, in a sharp, straight line, the moon starts to reappear.
Not the curve it should have.
No, and it's got a sharp. I mean, it's not. It's a lot sharper than it should be, and it starts to reappear.
Does this set off any bells under appraise all the things, which does include danger and?
It's weird. It's super strange.
So, by the time I get up to my room, or is anybody yelling about, "Hey, the moon's come back"?
There's some, hey, it came back, and everybody's like, whatever. Clouds, clearly clouds. Told you it was clouds. And nobody else seems to have been paying attention to the oddity of it.
So, if I open my window and look out, it's already too late. I've missed the interesting bit of it coming back strangely.
Yeah, because you had to go all the way up the stairs.
Okay.
And,
I was just curious.
but it's back.
Look, it's back.
Weird though.
It's not full, though?
Mm-mm.
Definitely not an eclipse night.
It's a gibbous. It's a big, heavy gibbous, but it's still gibbous.
Yeah. Eclipses only really happen when the moon's full. If I remember
So
my
we were-
astronomy correctly.
not, in fact,
My
due.
astronomy. No, we were not, in fact, due. If I remember my astronomy correctly, astrology is a totally different form of study, and I only use that when we're traveling with the caravan. So anyway, the carnival, probably a carnival.
So do you continue to hang outside?
No. Once it's back, I'll go inside because that's where she'll be and we can talk.
Okay. As you go back inside, you can hear dogs in the distance start barking.
Michael recommends I take the skill I can't even say it. Astronomology. I'd like to take that.
Astronomology?
Astronomology. Instead of engineering. I think that's a great plan.
Astronomology.
Astronomatopoeia.
Astronomatopoeia. You're totally making that skill work. Sorry.
So,
Aquarius is acquiesced to.
one thing this did do, though, is people start... It sort of lightens the mood inside.
Okay.
Everybody's gotten up. They've moved around. And suddenly they have kind of something to talk about. And even if it's just basically saying that, Stephen was being kind of ridiculous and, whatever. He's still hanging around outside. He's young and not in any hurry to go inside and get wrangled into doing chores, probably.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's getting late. It should be past his bedtime.
It's not that late.
Oh, okay.
It's just late enough for a faux clips.
A faux clips.
Yes. So, you're coming back down the stairs. You've kind of settled things out, and people are talking. You can see a gentleman that you met yesterday named Vic, and Vic's talking with George, the bartender, and they're talking about the likelihood of invasion and what kind of deployment that people expect. Is are they going to do another call up? Is George worried about Stephen? Is Stephen going to get if things go really badly, are they going to start dredging through? And is he worried about Stephen just running off and enlisting on his own? Because that happens. And so they're kind of having this side conversation as you come down the stairs, Monica, and you can see where they're having that conversation. A couple of other conversations have broken out. One of the older guys has a beat-up deck of cards that he's starting to fiddle with, and you can hear the cards being shuffled. And he starts laying them out in a solitaire pattern on the table, but he's actually engaged with watching the room. And like I said, the whole tenor of the room sort of shifted now that people have gotten up and moved around.
Okay. So,
Has the guy with the cards been here before?
Hmm?
Guy with the cards been here before?
Yeah. Usually he plays solitaire at the table.
is he any good at it?
Moderately.
Let's see. So the moon went out and powdered its nose and came back. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, it didn't unveil with the normal curvature either.
What do you mean?
You usually get like the solid rim light.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite like that. Bit more angled.
What do you mean by angled?
Sharper. Hold one of your books in front of the fireplace,
Mm-hmm.
and then kind of tilt it.
So was it sort of like... Well, I actually have a cup here. So was it sort of like this coming across?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, for those of you at home who don't get to see my hand later on, it is though a straight line started tangentially and moved across.
Yes.
Oh, math terms.
I'm out.
Yeah, I know.
I went to art school.
Pleased to know that they don't teach you things like tangentially and circles at art school. That gives me a lot of hope. All right. Well, that is definitely not the way an eclipse would have worked either. But what are we going to do
And
about
it
it?
shouldn't have passed so fast either.
No. But what are we going to do about it? We're here on this unnamed planet.
And the moon is way up there.
At least a mile in the air. If my books are to be believed.
That's what, like 7 ladders?
At least 7 ladders in the air.
Long
So-
ladders.
Long ladders, yes. We're going to need a boat with balloons. No, that's
The
a
door
different
bangs open a second time.
movie. They really need to fix the latch on that door.
This kid.
He's coming through it, again, and this time his eyes are as wide as the moon themselves. He's like, there are 2 moons.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Okay.
And you go out, and you can hear that there are dogs barking off in the distance still.
Okay.
Yap, 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 yap. Barking chain.
Frank, don't. You're going to start howling.
So, as you go out and you look up, sure enough, there's a second gleaming disc about the size of the gibbous moon in the sky.
Holy heck. Okay, now that's just not right.
I sense that there is something off about this.
You think? Your powers of deduction are astonishing.
Next, I shall punch the queen. Don't see that movie.
Okay. Noted. This is... Okay, I'm not even going to bother looking this up in the books because you know what? It's not there.
No, dude, 1 moon. 1 moon in the sky. Tonight there are 2.
Tatooine. No, they had 2 sons. My bad. I have no idea.
And I'm going to talk about a optional rule from the Cypher System rulebook.
I love when you spring stuff on us like this.
And this is a element out of the horror chapter. And so I'm going to move the current threat level from 1 to 2.
So
So
all
now
the dice I roll.
so now all natural 1s and 2s are
F-bombs.
F-bombs. So everything I roll now.
are automatic intrusions.
Awesome.
And as I do this, you also notice that the dogs on the north side of town that have been barking for all this time, they seem to be getting quieter.
Thank God. What about the dogs on the south side of town?
It's mostly the ones from the north that have been barking.
Okay. Does it sound like they're getting quieter or does it sound like there are fewer barking?
There are fewer barking,
That's a problem.
but it could be the bigots are getting quieter. They may be stopping and settling down.
There are 2 moons in the sky and the dogs aren't barking at it like they used to be. What do you think the chances are of that?
I'm going to say math.
Okay. So
Low.
low. So I think we're going to probably head to the south side of town. Is that where the north side of town?
North side of
North
town.
side of town. I'm lost. There's 2 moons in the sky. I can't figure out what north and south is anymore. Everything is up in the air right now. So we're going to head toward the north side of town. Do you have all of your stuff? I was upstairs. I grabbed everything.
What do you want?
anticipated this.
You won't be able to take all of your books.
Well, no, I'm not worried about taking all my books.
Okay. It's not like, what are you taking? I mean,
Well, I mean, I have like a traveler's gear. I have like traveling gear, like an adventuring gear. So
you're just gonna like grab
my
your
grab
rucksack.
pack. Yeah, and perhaps like
Your go bag.
My go bag, yes, and perhaps a couple of general reference books. Like, something related to physics or supernatural, occult. Actually, my forbidden lore knowledge book. The one that the geology. That one. The one that has the tentacles on the cover. I'm not yet quite
You're
dedicated.
taking that one?
Yes, I have not quite spent all of my intellect points pool to decipher that one because my sanity is still good. That's the one I'm taking.
Okay.
Just on a whim, take out my small mirror.
Okay.
Back to the moons,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of just see if they both reflect in the.
They do.
Okay. So, for all intents and purposes, definitely physically there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not good. So we head north.
Okay.
Speaking of heading north, does the compass actually still head north? Okay.
It does still pull north.
See how long that lasts.
Okay. So, as you make your way through the darkened streets, you can hear that the dogs are definitely quieting. You're actually... Did one yelp right before going silent?
I don't know. I wish I thought to take
17
perception.
on the die with the perceptions. Did it?
3. Yay! It wasn't a 2.
Got an intrusion.
You're pretty certain it did. So, because we've made a very early discovery, I'm going to give you guys XP for that. There's an extra moon in the sky. That qualifies.
That 2 moon thing. We almost missed it.
Good eye.
Good. Nice catch. Nice catch.
But you guys were following up on it. You were outside watching for it.
Okay. So we head north toward the docks.
So you continue heading north, picking your way through the streets.
How improved is visibility now that there are 2 moons?
It's still fairly dim. I mean, it's brighter, but it is still deep shadows, dim light when you're not in the direct moonlight. And as you're walking up, things seem to be moving in those shadows. But again, there's a bit of a wind going. There are trees. You hear every creak of the signs hanging from the shop windows. The smell of turned peat in flower beds. And then as you're heading up, you see that the lights in the mayor's large manor house go dark.
That's not good. There are more lights in the sky and fewer lights in the house. Oh, maybe they're going to bed.
The mayor has a small kennel of several dogs that your habitual scoping of things led you to notice when you came to town. And none of the dogs are barking in that vicinity.
What is Vanna doing?
Vanna is pacing around, clinging close to your legs, looking very nervous.
So sort of that weaving between your legs like cats do when you really wish they'd stop.
What do you expect from a cat dog?
Exactly.
Looking at the 2 moons, and it's clearly upsetting her.
Give her a bonus snack.
I'd like to take a moment and tell Scott that Don and Andrew think you have awesome hair.
Thanks.
And it has been pointed out that that is no moon. That is a space station. Thank you, chat. We missed that.
There's two of them. It's giant space wings.
Oh, that's a good question. Do the moon is it a mirror image of the moon? Is it like two of the same moons side by side? Do they look different? Do they look the same?
It's a lot more round. It's actually closer to full.
Okay, so they are not identical.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I've always wanted to see what's in the mayor's house, and now that the dogs are all quiet, let's go check it out.
Okay. As you approach the mayor's house,
We do so stealthily.
Okay. Go ahead and give me stealth rolls.
Sorry, what rolls?
Yeah, I don't have any of that, but I rolled a 17. Maybe it was not the smartest thing I have ever done to create a character that had no skills except for book learning. Rely on my dice.
Roll
And you, especially since you were like, we want to be con artists.
Well, I wasn't really thinking about the non-combat skills that I should have been taking, but
Live and learn.
Live and learn.
15 on the die.
15 on the die. Are you trained in stealth?
Not yet, I don't think.
Okay.
Michael's playing at home. He says he got a 4. You are not stealthy, Michael. We saw
Michael
you.
Got busted.
You totally got called out.
We don't know him. I use fast talk. We don't know him.
So you start moving up towards holding as close to the shadows as you can. And as you approach the mayor's house, you don't think you've been seen by anybody. There are, wooden steps that lead up to the front porch. It's one of those big wraparound porches. The front door is ajar.
Nobody detected us because they're all dead. We go inside.
All right, you head up to the door.
Yes.
You want to check the kennel first?
But the door's open. I know that locked doors actually have the best things behind them, but somebody's already opened it for
If
us.
it's already open, it's no longer an invitation.
I think you have that backwards. Well, we can go around the back and look at the dogs. I'm pretty sure I have a bad feeling about what they're going to look like. They're not going to be as cute as they were yesterday.
I just kind of want to confirm.
Okay.
Okay.
So do we want to? So we don't want to sneak around on the wooden planks of the.
So you're going to go through the grass.
I'm thinking I don't know. Now that you ask it like that, I'm having second thoughts. Wait a minute.
Yes.
So yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
This is all on your head. Okay, yes, we'll go through the grass.
All right, so you start creeping through the grass, moving around the house. You're going to go to the right or to the left?
Is the house symmetrical, or is there a shorter way around where the kennels are? I mean,
The house is not exactly symmetrical, so your shortest way around would be to go to the right.
Okay, then we'll
the
go.
house kind of has it's more or less symmetrical from the front, but there's like the way the porch and everything else sits, and then the fact that the kennel doesn't sit right on the
backside immediately.
backside, it's kind of off to the side on the right.
Okay,
so-
well we'll go the way that is the most expedient.
Okay. I mean, the house, and again, the house isn't precisely symmetrical. It is mostly symmetrical, but it's not exact.
Okay.
So you go around to the right, and you're creeping around that way. I need you to give me another stealth check.
No. But I rolled a 4, so I still have
I don't know
not
her either.
failed completely.
You don't know whether you succeeded.
I
or
don't know if
failed or not.
actually. You know what?
16 on the die.
You know what? With a
16 on.
4, I'm gonna try to reroll.
Okay. Not saving that.
14. No, I'm not gonna save it. I'm
Not
sure
saving
of
that for something more. Okay.
Are you kidding? The grass is gonna attack me. Of course, I'm not gonna save it for anything else.
It's gonna eat me.
All right. So what'd you get on your die?
I got a
roll?
14.
14. Okay. So you creep along, and you very nearly you can feel it bend under your foot. There's a small twig that just barely avoid setting to snapping. And as you kind of do your stop there and readjust your steps, you happen to kind of look up and you can see out of the side window where you are, there is something dark up along the glass. And it is dribbling down in streaks.
Mal, we have a problem.
No, I think the mayor has a problem.
Mal, we're standing next to the house where the mayor has a problem. I'm thinking it's going to be our problem very, very soon.
Aren't you glad we didn't go inside?
Now that you mention it, yes. All right, so my character has brought her weapon with her. She has a quarterstaff, so kind of hold it a little bit more at the ready.
Okay.
And avoid that twig.
Powder up.
Does it look like it's moving with a purpose, or does it look like it's just
It's dribbling.
running? Okay. The house is full of black ooze, and it's dribbling out the window.
It's dribbling down on the inside glass.
Oh, it's dribbling down on the inside glass?
Mm-hmm.
From some...
It's called splatter.
Yeah, I just, now that he's redescribed it, I understand. This is not good. All right, I think the dogs are dead. Do we really want to go back there and check on them still? We just want to go in and see what's going on inside the house.
When you've been by before to case the place, is there a door in through the back?
Yeah, because the kitchen opens up into the back because they have a back fire pit.
Should see if that one's open.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's open, but we can go do that.
I mean, we're already here.
Okay, well, we're halfway around the house. I mean, unless we want to just go through this window. No, I think that's a terrible idea.
Window's closed. It's on the glass on the inside.
Yeah.
It's closed, just gross.
You could open it.
I think that's a terrible plan. Somebody was in there murdering somebody else just a few minutes ago. All right, so we continue around the back to look at the dead dogs.
Okay.
Surprise us. Are they dead?
Oh, they're dead.
Okay.
How dead?
You don't remember how many dogs there are, and you can't count them.
That's bad.
So they're in bits.
Mutilated carcasses. Shredded. And you can smell that coppery tang of blood in the air. And
bits,
the
you
fox,
say.
the fox is like slinking back away from you.
I have a whole chapter in my book about cow mutilations. I am certain that these are related.
I love it when you get all conspiracy theory.
I have this metal hat I wear when I talk about it. It's part of the book. Someone wants to know, so no counting the feet and dividing by 4. I had given that a thought, but...
You could do that. It's dark. At the moment for where you're standing near the kennel area, you can't tell.
I'm not
But if
sure.
you want to go rooting through and counting the
I
feet
have
and
more
dividing by
important...
4,
I have a few more important things on my mind rather
I'm
than
all
that.
about that.
I take out my phone and turn on the flashlight.
Nah, there's no phones. I will say if you want to have a lighter, you could have a lighter on you.
Okay. I'm not
Nobody
sure.
said they grabbed any lanterns or anything.
No, but my
Oh,
go...
that would
but I
burn
bet
down
my...
the house, my dear.
But I bet my go kit has some kind of light source if it's a lighter or something.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I'd be more than happy.
Did
to
you
let have
grab
the
your
lighter.
Did you grab your bag? Oh, okay. Well, we were laughing about my book collection.
Keep it handy because we're about to be door-to-door encyclopedia salesmen.
You got it. Land shark. I don't think the door is going to be closed. I think we can just walk right in.
Is the back door open as well?
The back door has been broken in.
Did
You can actually see the frame has been damaged, and something forced its way through the door.
Okay, so we have a moment here to think about this. We don't have to go in.
And this puts you in the kitchen.
There are other people in this village that we could get to help us, or we could be big damn heroes. Your call, Mal.
There are not a lot of people in this village who are going to be able to help you with this.
They are all
I was working on a line.
I know.
Thanks.
aged and infirm.
Way to step on that, Andrew.
Or there's the teenager.
Right.
Yeah, who can't open a door to save his life.
We're gonna tell him to sneak, and he's gonna be like, "Boom! Guess what?"
All right, so I guess we go in.
The back door's broken in, and the front door's just kind of.
It's already open. Let's hope that whatever was in here is already gone. I mean, there's no reason to open both doors if you're not going to use them.
And we've got dead dogs and a broken door, so I'm going to advance that one more time.
Okay, so I get an XP back for discovery, right? Dead dogs.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Let's slide back around the front real quick.
Oh, they say you're hard to hear. Angle your, point your mic a little bit more towards you.
How's this?
Well, now you're using your radio voice.
Let's slide before we slide back to the front.
Hang on, Scott. Let me see if I can.
Am I?
He's
That's
not on.
why.
Oh.
Yeah, turn it on.
I thought it was on.
You know what? When I thought I was turning my mic off, I turned it on. I bet they weren't on.
Well, fortunately, we've got two mics over here, so hopefully he's been picking up on this one enough that.
Well, they did say that he was hard to hear until he yelled. So, okay. Thank you, GM Lamplighter. I'm not really certain who you are, but thanks for pointing that out to us.
Yay!
Yay. Now Scott should be really easy to hear.
I can
now,
hear.
now you all have to hear me. Ha 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 ha! Master plan complete.
And this is why we practice.
Yes.
Ooh!
Oh.
Oh, Scott Young.
It is Scott Young. Hi, Scott.
Hi.
And we have like a billion Scotts
No,
and
I am
Andrews.
the only Scott.
Okay. You're Scott old now. All right, so what are you rolling your dice for over there? Mal?
Well, I was gonna check around and see if there were like footprints and stuff back here with my nat 20, but I mean now.
No, actually, you can't see any footprints. The ground around here is kind of beat down. There's a lot of traffic that goes through here, and you can see. I mean, it's not that you can't see that there are footprints, but you can't make out any sets of like unique footprints. Picking out what's new versus what's old, especially since you haven't been back here, makes it hard.
Okay. Well, you said the weather was kind of gross.
It is kind of gross.
So if there
But
was
it's been kind of gross for the last couple of days. So,
No wet footprint, no wet
but
spots?
if something just came through and
are you looking in the house? I thought you were looking.
like around the door.
Oh, up on the deck then, the back
Well,
porch.
we're
On the
still, we're
porch,
still in
yeah.
the back.
Right.
We'll
So you're like looking up on the porch then. Yes, there are wet footprints that go inside on the porch.
humanoid?
Mm-hmm.
More than one set?
One set.
Wow.
And there's actually almost like a trail of water that goes up. So it's more than just footprints. There's like a whole, like somebody was standing in the rain and walked up and their coat was leaking everywhere as well.
Good thing I brought the book with the tentacles on the front. All right,
If this guy's name is Michael, we're out.
you got it. But Freddy, we are totally going after Freddy.
My little man.
It's a Freddy Meowcurry. All right. So, all right, let's go inside and see what
Are
we
you going
miss.
inside on the front or the back?
We're on the
There was-
back side of the house. Why would we walk back around?
Well, you said you were going to walk back around, so I was confused.
I think we should go
Oh,
back
you
around
think
to
we
the
should go
front
back around to
also
the front? Oh, okay.
to check the prints of who.
See
we
if
can
someone
find
came
prints
out.
For anyone.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yes.
Because like I said, it's weird that the back door is kicked in, the front door is just open.
That's fine. We can go back around front.
That one's not so hot. 6 on the die and still
Well, I can do it.
skilled in
I can,
perceptions.
I can still try. 12.
All right, you go back around to the front of the house, and the door is wide open,
Not just ajar.
not just ajar. The wind is blowing. It could have blown it open, but it looks like a pretty stout door.
Well, let's go in quiet. Oh, are there footprints? I mean, like bloody. Now I'm expecting bloody footprints. Any kind
Not
of
on the
sign?
front porch.
Oh, now they're just teasing us.
Right? Rude. I guess we go in.
Okay, you go first.
Alright.
Someone says maybe the kid was there. I'm sorry. I don't mean to break the mood, but it's so hard to. It's
No, that's
Michael.
awesome.
It's Michael's fault. Michael McNeil, you're a bad influence on me.
Kick. Shatter. Guess what?
Your dogs are dead. Oh, sorry. All right, sorry. So, Aaron and Mal go in. Mal goes first.
Okay.
I swear by my pretty floral bonnet, I will end you.
There is a bloody streak that runs like something was drug away from the door, all the way back through the front room, and out of sight down one of the darkened hallways. This is basically like a small foyer, and then it goes into a hallway that takes it back into what looks to be maybe some sort of like sitting room, and then further back would be the kitchen.
Well, the action is obviously back that way, where the blood trail goes. I think we should just go back to the bar and have a couple pints and wait for it to blow over.
And move on. So
The bar was named the
I'm
Winchester,
not going
right?
to table the Winchester.
All right. Actually, so Erin gets her pistol out in her right hand and her quarterstaff in her left because she's gonna shoot. She's gonna shoot with her aiming hand.
It's a good call.
I know, unless of course she was left-handed, in which case that would be flip-flop. But I don't know, so I'm gonna go ahead and say she's right-handed because she's my character.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Draw the rapier. I use fine lines.
Okay.
You're welcome.
So you draw your rapier, you draw your weapons,
Yes.
and you start heading back towards
Yes.
the hallway.
Yes, we don't love ourselves enough. We do that.
All right, so as you head down the hallway, you can see where there's a tight spiral staircase that goes up.
Where's the blood go?
The blood continues down the hallway towards the kitchen. There is the heavy scent of blood and death in the sitting room that's off the hallway, in this first doorway off the room.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably about where that window was. But this streak goes past that. There's also the faint smell of pipe smoke
Mayor
coming
Smoker?
from the sitting room.
Probably
Probably.
used to be.
He's the door open?
You use the door open, and the mayor is sitting in his chair like this. His rib cage is popped open, and organs are just draped out all over him.
That is not the proper way to do
His pipe
an
is
autopsy.
abandoned on the ground,
Oh, when did we get Vikings?
and there's a chunk taken out of his throat that
would be-
actually takes not just his throat, but a good portion of his jaw.
Yeah, no, that would be his back. That's the wrong side for Vikings. You just creep somebody out and in chat.
I'm out.
We maybe should have mentioned this, GM, that this might be in a more adult, mature themed game. Perhaps in the
Maybe
future
I
we should have thought that.
This isn't a mature channel.
It is.
It's marked as mature channel.
It is. Apparently we're running horror here in the month of December.
No, it's October 62nd.
Is it? Okay. That sounds legit. Surprise. All right. So we found the mayor. I guess they'll be holding elections soon. So,
Who else lives here?
The mayor, his wife, their butler, and a maid cook.
Well, we're at 25%.
okay, so before we go beyond this, I'd like to go inside and take a quick look at the body and give it my very best uneducated anatomy check to see if anything's missing.
Okay.
Actually, I'd like to... no, I'm going to hang on to my intellect. I may need that later.
Is that a 1, 2, or a 3?
Oh, yeah. It's not just a 1, 2, or 3. It is, again, the F word. I'm starting to think that getting the F yeah die might not have been
Your best
my best plan.
Though funny.
It is hilarious. Yeah. The good news is that the I'm hoping that the intrusion will be that I just get sick. I don't know. Yeah, so there we go. I have no XP to re-roll that one. Not that I would have done that anyway on a 1.
Okay.
For that one. Well, I might have, but it's too late now.
So yeah, you're
Yeah.
in there and yeah, I've got this. Nope, you don't have this.
There are pieces in that man's body I didn't even know existed.
And you hurl.
Mm-hmm.
While she's hurling, I'm going to intrude on you.
Oh.
Yeah, but you get XP, but you know what the good news is there are only 2 of us at the table.
So there's a bang from the kitchen area, and this large, burly figure comes running towards you down the hallway, shadowed in darkness.
Steven. Sorry.
A low, monstrous growl from its chest.
From its...
It kind of gives like this from down here. It's like giving this roar sound as it comes down the hallway.
How old is the butler? Do we know?
You know, I'm going to say that he was about 66 years old.
No, he's mid-40s.
Oh. Well, he looked really bad for his age the last time I saw him. But
You're not even certain if you've seen him.
are you sure we were casing this place?
Yeah.
I mean, I know my perception's not that great, but I think we would have seen the butler.
You're vomiting currently. You can't talk about it.
It doesn't look like him,
Yeah.
but I could be wrong.
I'm actually expecting this to be the butler. I'm going to wheel the rapier around so the blade is behind me.
Okay.
Take a knee and just ram the butt of the hilt into his abdomen
Okay.
as he approaches.
All right. So you do this, and the butt end of your blade. Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Stop! 17 on the die.
Okay. So that's enough to... There's this... Boo! And you hit him hard, and he doubles over and drops.
Still breathing. Sucking wind.
And you kind of get him turned over with a little bit of the light from the moon from the windows. He is in the livery of the mayor's butler.
Woo!
Nice. Nice guess.
Calm down. Breathe. Slow breaths. What happened?
I don't know. I was... in the privy.
There's nothing here of interest today.
And the dogs went quiet. And then they yelped. They were barking, and
You don't go looking.
I already saw it.
It's not pretty.
I already saw it. I had to pass him to get back in. And I saw they did horrible things to Bethany,
Mayor's wife or cook?
the cook.
They?
Whoever they were. They she's and he kind of like points and he gives another pained like rubs his chest where you hit him.
Sorry.
And he points again. And he just starts sobbing.
Me too. I usually cry after I vomit.
Where's he pointing?
Back towards the kitchen.
So you went out the back door to the privy.
Did you come back in the back door, like busting
Just
through
now.
it?
No.
Oh.
Just,
How long ago did you go out there?
it was kind of a long trip. And then things started happening, and I stayed out there. I just had... Something was butchering them dogs. I was afraid. But if I had come, maybe Bethany wouldn't be... It made me take...
I'm bad at comforting people.
You are the speaker.
No, I personally am bad.
You are the speaker.
Breathe.
You rest your hand on him and tell him to breathe. He's...
Can you move?
I can move.
Get yourself together. Run as fast as you can to the tavern.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. If you had been in here, chances are they would have gotten you too. There's probably very little that could have been done for her.
Are there any weapons here?
My lord mayor had a old rifle from his days in the army, and there's a pistol that I think still works in his desk drawer.
All right. All right, go.
So he gets up and he starts. He heads out the door, and he's got a really awkward gait now, and he's clearly in a significant amount of pain from the way you hit him. But he's heads out. Not tremendously fast, but in the direction of the tavern.
If he came through the kitchen, whatever it is gone. Unless it's upstairs. It doesn't make a lot of sense for it to go upstairs. Alright, so now that I've stopped puking, I'd like to try to take a second look at the body.
Okay.
It's been pointed out to me that my die might be weighted specifically for the purposes of making it more interesting.
Oh, no.
But I did just roll a 6. So I'm not sure I got anything out of it, but does it look like anything's missing? Or anything is... I mean, obviously things are moved around.
Yeah. Whatever did this did it with a fairly
Rough action.
head. Yeah. I mean,
All right.
they just.
So things are just shredded.
Yeah.
Okay.
To bits, you say.
Yes.
His clothes, his organs, his skin. It's just a pulpy mess.
All right.
You think, looking at it, that most everything is probably there, except you're not certain what happened to this portion of his face,
The jaw.
the jaw and the neck.
For those of us who are listening at
The jaw,
home
yeah.
rather than watching. Okay.
The jaw and the neck.
But that is actually missing.
Probably.
Okay.
And there may be things missing inside, but again, because it was so messy.
What kind of we're talking? Are we looking at like gas lighting and stuff like that?
There is gaslighting in this house. Some of the houses are going to have lanterns, but there are candles.
Okay.
And there are a couple of carry lamps.
Okay, we'll light some lights at this point. I think whatever is here is either going to get us in the light or the dark, or it's gone. But it might be easier to figure out if the jawbone's missing. I mean, there are definitely some rituals that involve the jawbone of dead people, but I don't know why they would have gone to such lengths to get this guy's jawbone.
You've got to quit reading those books.
They're the best books. Wow. My best information comes from those books. It was aliens. So anyway, we'll light some lights.
Okay. So
Take
you
a
light
look
some
around.
lights, and lights do not help this scene any.
Of course not. But now that I've vomited, I'm okay because my stomach's empty. How are you feeling over there?
I'm worried about my fox.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, yeah.
My poor girl.
She's like in your pocket now.
She's cowering.
She's unhappy.
I bet.
There's a fox puddle in the room as well.
She's stinking the place
That's not coming out.
She's stinking the place up.
Take it up with your new boyfriend.
All right. Okay, take a look in the kitchen. I'm guessing she's been brutalized, but is she missing anything?
She's actually in two different parts of the kitchen. Her upper torso is on one side of the room, and her legs are on the other.
Okay, so there's a lot of stuff
That means a big mess.
spread out in the middle.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The floor in this room is pretty much blanketed in blood. There is a bunch of streak marks, like somebody had been moving around in here, and then there's like footprints that move. So there's like a lot of like back and forth kind of footprints.
Mm-hmm.
Or like maybe parts of like when she went sliding across that way and across that way. And then there are definite footprints that come through it.
That lead into our
They
room?
stop at the upper torso, and then they charge down the hallway towards you.
Okay. So
Butler.
yeah. So
Presumably.
the other footprints, do they seem to lead anywhere?
They also go back out towards the hallway. But again, because you've got that long streak of stuff that was all the way down here, in the dark you didn't notice it, but now with you've got light, you can see that there are some sort of footprints that head up back out the way you came, out towards the front.
Well, we follow those pretty quickly, make sure
Anything
they're in the
unusual about
house.
footprints?
Hmm?
Anything unusual about the footprints?
They're booted.
Well, it's not terribly It does mean that aliens are much lower on the list now. So do they lead out of the house at this point, or follow them?
You follow them out?
I'd like to follow to where they go with some caution. They start going up the stairs. I would like to take a moment.
Okay. They do not go up the stairs.
Okay. Do they go back out the front door?
They go out towards the front door, and then they stop in the middle of the room.
Do they look like the blood has like been worn off of the shoe? Or are they like getting fainter and fainter, like they become
There's a
harder
little bit
and
of
harder
that.
to fall?
There's a little bit of that, but there should be plenty of blood left over to track the rest of the way through.
And they just stop in the middle of the room.
And they stop. Do you want to search the room?
Sure, I'd love to roll another 3. Let me get on that. Actually, I would like to spend intellect on this one.
I'm assuming you're searching.
Yes.
Since you're specifically looking for something,
Would puzzle solving or enigmas help me out on this?
I will give you enigmas.
Okay. All right. Well, I rolled a 5, but I reduced it by 2.
All right. Well, in this case, this is a particularly easy task. So even rolling a 5, you find a pair of boots discarded in the room.
Oh. Well, that makes sense. I found him. He's a size 11.
They are big boots,
He's a size 13.
and they appear to be of a military sort of cut.
Our military or different military?
That would require more
Local history?
You can make that roll, but I mean that requires a specific bit of information.
Not on that, I can't.
How about appraise all the things?
What did you get?
15 on the die and I'm skilled.
I will go ahead and give you that. With 15 on the die and being skilled, what did you roll?
I rolled a 4.
Yeah.
I didn't expect
they're
anything.
military.
I promise you they're not weighted. Her dice just hate her.
Yes.
Because now you're using
Now I'm using my
precision crystal ones. The plastic crystal, whatever they're called, but they're the game science dice.
They're not that's not the right box. I forget what they are.
So, you're not 100% certain because there are dozens of militaries, but you're pretty certain they are not Ghent issue. And the cut of them and the way the sole is on them reminds you of boots that you wore when you were doing a con once, where you were impersonating a Waymark noble.
It's an invasion.
Yeah, that's not good. But how did they get 2 moons? Like, this doesn't make sense. How do you plan for something like that? You make the moon go away and then you bring another one back? I mean, this isn't just like your average invasion.
It's your basic shell game con.
So, oh, I see. So while we're looking at the moons that are fake in the sky.
You hear more barking outside from the south side of town.
Uh-oh. We should probably head that way.
You step out front, and you can see a third moon hanging over town towards the south.
All right, so what's that one look like? Bigger, smaller?
It's more or less the same size. It's a little bit smaller from here, from your perspective, and it's a little bit more crescent-y shaped from this angle, from where you're standing.
The moon shouldn't have a different shape from where I'm standing. We're too far away from it for it to actually be that significant of a difference.
That moon shouldn't have a different shape from where we're standing.
Well, I mean, if we're going to roll with the circumstances as they are, it should be, it's much too far away for the mere hundreds of feet between where we are now and where we were earlier for that to make a difference. I mean, it's simple mathematics. I've got it here in a book. It's called geometry.
Astronomology.
Astronomology. My astronomology instructor taught me that.
There we go. That's how it is. Astronomology.
Astronomology.
I hate to be the killjoy here. Should we try to locate the wife?
Ooh, she might be upstairs. But there are dogs barking. And the last time dogs were barking, they stopped barking. So if we want to figure out where the dogs are barking, we have to go now while they're making noises. I bet there's a big barefooted guy out there waiting for us.
Hold on, I operate undercover. I don't solve mysteries.
You've given Vanna snacks. Of course you solve mysteries.
Dang it. Come on, Vanna, let's go find the kitchen.
Are we making sandwiches?
Well, you were already in the kitchen.
That did not go so well.
No.
Someone Scott Young's changing his business cards to astronomologer. All right, so what are we doing? Are we making sandwiches? Are we making sandwiches, or are we walking across town?
Really? Sandwiches?
I'm asking this
Tell you
guy.
what.
Yes.
Well, at this point, I am going to go ahead and reset this back to 1 because obviously things have calmed down a little bit, and you're having a moment to think about sandwiches.
You go grab the rifle and the pistol. I'm going to run upstairs and see if the wife is upstairs.
Why would I let you go up there by yourself? I will go with you.
I've got the cat dog.
Cause that's at all reassuring. Have you even seen what the cat dog's doing here?
Marking territory.
Yeah. Yes, and not in a good way. Do we want to take a quick break? It's 11:30. It's almost 11:30.
We can take a quick break here.
All right. We will be right back.
We're going to take a fox puddle break.
Yes, we're going to take a fox puddle break. Yeah, split the party. We're not doing that. Someone wants to
Is
know
there
if there's
portal
a...
in the
No,
fridge?
it's cool. The counter's been reset to 1. We're okay now.
We will be back. Thank you all for sticking around with us. Just a minute.